All right, welcome back. Prop the mic, PTM here. How are you, my friends?
Yeah, had a nice 1 week off from real NBA action.
Yeah,
it was sad.
It was. It's kind of boring. It's nice to recharge the batteries a little bit, like take a step back. But like I'm antsy today. I got lots of picks. It shows how antsy I am by how many picks I have today. But
yeah, I kept opening the props.cash screen over the last week and going to the NBA page and seeing nothing. It's depressing.
Yeah, it is.
But the All-Star game was okay, right?
It's okay.
It's a little hokey.
Yeah,
the skills competition is garbage. They need to get rid of that.
I mean, even the All-Star game is, to me, very unwatchable. And unfortunately, last year with this Elam ending, it actually was pretty good. But this year, it was there was enough of a gap, right? Enough of a spread in the point difference that it didn't really get exciting like it did last year.
And Tatum, it was awesome that he put up, 55 points, but it's kind of sad that guys like SGA, who are top 5 shooter in the league, he plays 10 minutes in the game. What is that nonsense? So anyway, but we did have some decent wins on that, right? We called Lillard's 8 threes. We called Embiid scoring over his point total, which Embiid is the only guy who actually takes that game seriously.
Yeah.
He actually plays to win. So
Anthony Edwards, too. You saw his comments after the game?
Yeah, he's not having that. And SGA was also upset that LeBron blocked him and said, wait till I kind of get my revenge. So they have a game coming up in the next week or so. I think we're going to have to really go after SGA.
Yeah. LeBron didn't like him beating him in the game where he set the record, right?
Yeah, probably. That's probably what that was about.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into tonight's action. We got 9 games, right? So packed slate.
Yep. Right back into it.
Yeah. And I did, for a couple of these plays today, I did look at performance last year by those individuals coming out of the All-Star game. And it's pretty cool data point. Because some, you would think either people are going to be rested and ready to go, or some guys might just, be flat and take a game to warm up. So
okay. So I didn't really look at that much.
For a couple players.
Yeah.
I like
that.
All right, so let's dive into the first game. We got the Nuggets at the Cavs. Cavs are -2.5. Total is relatively low, 222.5, which is not surprising with the Cavs, right?
No, not really. So here, this is actually the game I had the least amount of action on here. So in the during the All-Star break, I went through, updated a lot of our DVP stuff, dug in a little bit deeper, so it goes into specific stat categories. So I'm able to see not just overall what positions are having good games, but what positions are having, are better, are getting more assists per game against certain teams, 3-pointers, whatever it may be. So in this game, as we've spoken about, point guards against Denver are a good matchup. What's really great is assists. So over the I think I have this set at over the last, where did we go to? Might even been since January 1st, I think I did. So I wanted to just kind of see the last 6 weeks or so. So starting point guards are averaging 8.7 assists per game against Denver and 3.2 made threes per game. So I like Garland over 8.5 assists. It's plus 105. He's only done it in his last 5 of 10 at home, but I love the matchup here. So that was one. And the other is Garland over 2.5 made threes. It's plus 110. He's done it in 6 of 10 overall and 5 of 10 at home. But I love, since January 1st, point guards that play, it's not starting point guards. I actually set it for point guards that play more than 26 minutes against Denver are averaging 8.7 assists per game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess Mitchell is considered a shooting guard. Is that his
Mitchell is a shooting guard,
position? Yeah. I liked Mitchell in this game. He went through that dry spell, leading up to a few games before the All-Star game, but I think he was hurt. But his last 4 games before the All-Star game was 30, 29, 41, and 33.
Okay.
And he actually looked really locked in the All-Star game too.
He was feeling it. Yeah.
I think he had like 40. I think he had 40 points. He might have been the second top scorer. His total tonight is 26.5 points, minus 120. I liked it. I did look at how he performed coming out of the All-Star game last year, and he had 33 versus the Mavericks last year. Obviously, different team, different scenario, but just another data point to show how a guy performs first game.
I like it because even last year, I mean, I don't remember exactly what was going on with Dallas at that point, but Dallas is a very good defensive team last year. So to come out of the All-Star break and put up those numbers against a good Dallas defense, that bodes well for this one. So I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anybody on the Nuggets side?
Yeah. So the one matchup against Cleveland that we could look at are wing/small forwards. Since January 1st, wing small forwards have been averaging 20 points on the dot against Denver and 22.5 points and assists. Those are the two that really stuck out. So I'm going with Michael Porter here. Over 16.5 points, minus 115. He's done it in his last 7 of 10 overall and 7 of 10 on the road. And his position, wing small forward, averaging 20 points per game, and he only needs 16.5.
Yeah, I was going to look up I forgot to look this up, but Aaron Gordon still is out, and I have to imagine that Porter is benefiting from that, right? From a production standpoint?
I'd imagine so, yeah.
All right, I'm just looking. Yeah, I mean, if you look at his last... it's really his last 7 games without Gordon.
Yeah,
he has scored 30, 19, 17, 22. He had 14 versus Charlotte, 17 and 22. So he seems to really really perform when he gets the ball more. So
I like it.
I like that play.
You just gave me some more evidence of why I like this play so much. And just to point out, the other wing/small forward for the Nuggets is Bruce Brown. So that's also somebody I would look at in this game, especially with Gordon out. He'll get some more run too. So.
Yeah. Is Jamal Murray playing in this game? Because it's his birthday today.
Oh, really?
Really?
I didn't look at that. I wasn't on him, so I wasn't. Yeah,
It's not a particularly great. It's actually a really bad matchup, right? Guards against Cleveland. Yeah. But just another note. It's his birthday. It is D'Angelo Russell's birthday, and it's Andrew Wiggins' birthday. Wiggins is out, so.
Just all right. I have a play on Mr. D'Angelo Russell coming up in a bit. So, all right.
All right, cool. Let's go on. We got the Celtics at the Pacers. Pacers are +8 at home. Totals 232.
Yep. The two matchups against Boston are. So I broke down the positions a little bit more. So we're talking about not just bigs, but bigs can be categorized as a big center or a big power forward. Okay. So big power forwards are the prime matchup against Boston. The only guy on Indiana is Jalen Smith, who fits that profile. No lines out on him. But the other one are power forwards. So forwards can be either small forwards or power forwards. The power forwards have been performing really well against Boston. And I like this one because that's Aaron Naismith, who, revenge narrative, was drafted in the first round of 2020 by the Boston Celtics. He had 15 points against Boston on December 21st. He only needs 10.5 in this game. So I like his over 10.5 points. He's done it in 5 of 10 overall and at home. So not great there, but power forwards since January 1st have been averaging 21 points per game against Boston. Yeah.
Yeah. He was in the Brogdon trade, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's all I had on the Indiana side. Excuse me. On the Boston side, so defensively against Indiana, bigs have been crushing. So Boston's got 3 guys who classify as bigs: Horford, Robert Williams, and Grant Williams. I like, Robert Williams in this game. Since January 1st, bigs have been averaging 32 par against Indiana.
Wow.
His par tonight is 20.5. It's minus 125. He's done it in 6 of 10 overall.
Yeah. You also got to figure that guy in particular probably is benefiting from extended rest, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
This is like the longest stretch that he's played in a while. So
yes.
Okay.
All right. And then the other two matchups are small forwards, which is Jason Tatum. I like him. The real one that really sticks out here are steals. So for some reason, the small forward position against Indiana, like steals are where to go. So they're averaging 2.3 steals per game since January 1st. So unfortunately, this is Tatum and Brown. Tatum to get one steal is minus 195. Brown to get one steal is minus 205. Not so exciting. So maybe you put the two of them together. Maybe you take them at 1.5 steals, because you get up into plus 220 territory at over 1.5 steals for either of these guys. Jaylen Brown is the one I think I like the most. So wing small forwards averaging 1.7 steals per game since January 1st. He's done this. He's had over one steal in 8 of 10 on the road. 8 of his last 10 on the road, averaging 1.4. And he had 3 steals in 2 of those games. So this is a good matchup.
Yeah.
Maybe I might lean. You like the Tatum Brown parlay?
Well, I'm a little cautious on Brown just because he's
the mask.
This is his first game, back with the mask. Yeah. Although he wasn't shying away from the 1-on-1 with Tatum, in the All-Star game, but I think he trusts. Even though Tatum was the one who popped him in the face in the first place. So, I don't know. I think so. I think that's a pretty good play. The Pacers are bad at handling the ball, right?
Dude, small forwards since January 1st are averaging 2.3 steals per game against Indiana. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, and those guys too are good plays there. I'm just trying to see turnover wise where they rank.
Indiana.
Pacers. Yeah, they're like eight turnovers a game that lead to steals. So
okay.
All right, cool. What else we got? Anybody? Oh, so Tatum, you mentioned Tatum. Mm-hmm. I also just looked at his performance last year. Mm-hmm. Coming out of the All-Star game, he played the first night, I believe, game against the Nets. He had 30 points. His line is 28.5. So I don't know what to expect out of him, right? Like he might just have used it all up in the All-Star game. Mm-hmm. But I think he's probably a good play on points.
Yeah, I think so. I like that.
All right, cool. Anybody else?
Nope, that's it. Let's keep it moving.
All right, let's go. We got Pistons at the Magic. Magic -7, totals 228.5.
Yep. The wing shooting guard matchup against Detroit is primo. You got averaging since January 1st, 19.5 points per game, 2 steals per game, 28 par. So that's Gary Harris. I like him to have a steal in this game. It's -175, but he's done in 8 of 10 overall and 8 of 10 at home. So maybe you put that with something, or if you don't love that 175, which I don't. And then I like his par. It's only 11.5. It's -113, but he's done it in 5 of 10 overall. And given this great matchup against Detroit, I love that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. You actually threw that one out before the All-Star game, and we talked about it on the pod, but we didn't post it. And that one cleared like
very early on.
So yeah, very early. So let's finally cash.
We're going back to the well. Yes. All right. The next one I liked was wing small forwards, averaging just under a block per game since January 1st. So this one's like a big boy on the roof style pick here, but I like Franz Wagner to have 1 block. It's plus 370.
Wow.
He doesn't get there that often, but it's a good matchup for him for blocks. And in his last 6 games against Detroit, he had a block in 2 of them. So this is like, I'm not saying to go out and play this. This is just a kind of a more of a fun thing. But I'm feeling it.
Yeah, he does not.
Dave does not like this one.
No. I mean, I love it. I love it as a
fun
little sprinkle on it.
Yes.
But he is averaging 0.2 blocks per game. Yeah. So he gets one every every 5 games. Yeah. So that's not bad.
Yeah. The other matchup here are big centers rebounding for bigs and centers against Detroit. So Mo Wagner is it's only 3.5 rebounds, and it's plus 135. His last 2 games against Detroit, he had 4 and 5. So he cleared his last 2 against Detroit. Nice low number. I know you like those.
Yeah.
And then your boy Wendell Carter over 8.5 rebounds, minus 120. He's done it 3 straight. Oh, no, sorry. He had 8 in his last game against Detroit, but then 11 the 2 previous games against Detroit. So,
yeah,
I like that.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And one more. Point guards against Detroit are averaging 2.5 steals per game. Cole Anthony doesn't get a lot of steals, but he's had a steal in 4 straight games against Detroit, and his odds are plus 135 tonight to get a steal.
Not bad.
Yep.
All right, plenty of options.
I just got
a dog fight going on back there. Nice.
Okay.
They like that Cole Anthony pick.
They really did.
All right, let's move on. We got the Grizzlies at the Sixers. I think this is a TNT game. Sixers are minus 3.5 on the game. And let me see if I can pull up the total. I didn't have the total on that one.
Sorry, missed you.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just pulling up the total on the Sixers game. I didn't have that one. 231. So this will be a good game, I think. Although I think the Grizzlies will struggle probably without Adams going up against Embiid. What do you like for the matchups on this one?
Okay. All right. Matchup what? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. So we were on. Hello?
Grizzlies, Sixers. Yep.
Yeah. Grizzlies, Sixers. What is going on? Sorry. I'm just, my computer just froze here for a sec. Hang tight, please.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll talk through some of the.
Here we go. I got it. Okay. Grizzlies, Sixers. Okay. Bigs against Memphis is a good play to look at. But I don't know. Embiid's lines are very high, so I couldn't find something I loved. But definitely a great play in this game. The other one was small forwards, just in terms of blocks, averaging a block a game. So that was Tobias Harris. He's plus 125 to have a block in this game. His last 3 against Memphis is 0, 2, and 1. So I like those plus odds in a decent matchup.
Yeah. Any other plays?
I have on the Philly side. So I love Morant tonight. Point guards against Philly since January 1st, averaging 26 points a game, 38 par per game. So Ja's line tonight is 26.5. I think he easily clears this. Point guards are averaging 26 points per game against Philly. He's done it in 7 of 10 overall, and his last 2 games against Philly, he had 28 and 37.
Yeah, that seems like a good matchup. What do you think about Jaren Jackson tonight?
So I have a play on Jackson over 1.5 threes.
Really?
Yeah. So big power. He's classified as a big power forward. Big power forward since January 1st are averaging 2.5 made threes per game. His line's 1.5. It's plus 100. He's done in 6 of 10 overall, 5 of 10 on the road. And when they played on December 2nd, he had 2 made threes. You know who else had 2 made threes in that game? Mr. Santi Aldama.
You like Santi?
I like Santi tonight. He's done this in 5 of his last 6 games, 4 of 5 on the road. And he also had, like I just said, he had 2 in that game against Philly. And his line, he's plus 150 to have 2 threes tonight. So, yeah. Wow. What did you like on Triple J?
I don't know. I saw he, I don't know. He was like the dog of the All-Star game.
Yeah,
right.
Last pick.
I think he played like the least amount of minutes, like 9 minutes. I kind of feel like he's going to come fired up.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty good performance against the Sixers last time. So, yeah. And he also played well coming out of the All-Star game last year. So, all right. You want to move on to the next one?
Yep.
All right, we got the Pels at the Raptors. Raptors -6. Totals 226. What do you got here?
So bigs against New Orleans is great, especially big. But either
bigs against both teams.
Yeah. So I like Jakob Poeltl here. It's a guy we seem to be playing a decent amount lately. I like him. So the reason I like him is big centers against New Orleans since January 1st, averaging 17.6 points per game, just under 10 rebounds, just under 4 assists. So I actually like him across the board. I like him for over 7.5 rebounds. He's done it in 6 of his last 7 against the Pelicans. 2.5 assists. Okay. He's done in 4 of 7 against the Pelicans, 6 of 10 overall, and over 11.5 points. He's done in also 4 of 7 against the Pels, 5 of 10 overall.
Nice.
Mr. Poeltl. So I like that.
Yeah, his minutes are rising too. Yeah. The last game before the break, he had 37 minutes.
He crushed in that game.
Yeah. Okay.
So I like that. And then against Toronto, your best matchup are your wing small forwards. So New Orleans happens to have 3 of these guys. It's Brandon Ingram, Najee Marshall, and Trey Murphy. So I like BI tonight over 23.5 points, -125.
Yeah.
He's done this in 6 straight games, averaging 29.5 points per game.
Yeah, I didn't understand the line on him. Yeah. Right? Like it just, sometimes maybe there's something that we didn't know. I even checked to see if maybe Zion was coming back like early or something, but it seemed like this line was set 2 points too low. Like this should be 25.5. Yeah. He's been back 9 games, and he had 3 that I would call ramp up games where he was under this, and then like you said, the next 6 he was at this or above. Yeah. So really good. Yeah. And also last year, first game back after the break, he had 28 against the Suns.
Nice.
So
nice. Yeah, another great defensive team.
Yep.
Nice. The other one I liked was Trey Murphy. Also, he was popping his over 1.5 threes. He's done in 5 of 6 overall. That's a great. These which one is it? It's wing small forwards are averaging 2.6 made threes per game. So he only needs 2 there.
He's on the ban list for at least another 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. So I won't bring up.
He did us wrong. One, so. He did us wrong before the break.
You're right. You're right.
So
okay, we'll move on.
He's not officially on the ban list, but he's suspended. He's suspended from our
detention.
Detention, yeah, exactly.
That's all I got.
All right. You didn't like Joval here? Isn't this against his old team? I think he's had pretty good success, right?
Against Toronto. Yeah, it is.
He was a Raptor, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. I don't know. I don't. Nothing was popping from that position, so I didn't really dig in too much. That's a good point. I didn't. Yeah. I forgot about the narrative. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up his history against Toronto. I mean, he played once earlier this season. He had 13 rebounds. His line tonight is 9.5. Let me look at last season too. Last season he had 17 and 9 rebounds. I think his points were more compelling though. Yeah, this is what I saw. His line for points tonight is 13.5. His last 3 games against Toronto are 20, 18, and 16. So 2 of those were last year. One of them's this year. So I think he will also be a good play tonight.
Yeah, I could see that.
But Ingram was my favorite.
Yeah, Ingram's a great one.
All right, let's move on. We got the Spurs at the Mavs. Mavs are -14 at home. Total's 239.5. This is a tricky game because it could be over. Really
it's a lot of points, though.
Yeah, it is a lot of points, but we'll see.
Yeah. Against San Antonio, bigs are definitely somewhere to target, but Dallas doesn't really have any. Doesn't really have a big man. Woods hurt, and Dwight Powell, JaVale McGee. So we're staying away from there. You could target combo shooting guards. That's Kyrie, and point guards Luka. But I don't know. I'm a little worried about that side. But I do like some stuff on the Spurs side here against Dallas.
Really?
Yeah, against Dallas, big centers averaging 10.2 rebounds per game. Zach Collins' line tonight is 7.5 rebounds. It's minus 110, so I like that.
I looked at him though; he hasn't put up that many rebounds, has he?
He hasn't. A few times
since Pirtle. I mean, it's really since Pirtle left, right?
Yeah, it's not like it didn't immediately shoot up, but
yeah, I think maybe the first game he had 11, and against Detroit. Then he had 5 and 5 against Atlanta and Cleveland. Then he had 12 against Charlotte. So I do like him a lot. I think he's going to be really good. I just would be cautious. I
was playing more the matchup than like the recent trends. So that was why I was like,
it's not a big sample.
Exactly. I just like the big discrepancy between the averaging 10.5 and his line 7.5. So I like that.
Right.
The other matchup here that's pretty good is point guard assists for point guards against Dallas. So they're averaging 8.3 assists per game. Trey Jones' line tonight is only 5.5 and it's plus 100. He's done in 5 of 10 overall, but 7 of 10 on the road. And he cleared his last 2 games against Dallas. He had 6 assists in both games.
Yeah, that seems like a good play considering 239 points.
Exactly.
But again, potential blowout. So I don't know what I don't know. I would just investigate what happens with him, in blowouts. Does he play the fourth quarter or does he sit?
Yeah. The other one was Keldon Johnson. So wing small forwards seem to dish the ball against Dallas, averaging 4 assists per game since January 1st. His line's 2.5 assists per game. It's minus 160, but he's done in 8 of 10 overall, averaging 3.5 assists over those 10 games, and 4 of his last 6 on the road. So I know you like those nice small numbers. So
I do.
So I like that.
I told you, I always like, being able to, stop watching that game at halftime.
I got uno más. Mr. Jeremy Sohan. I learned how to pronounce his name correctly.
What were we saying before?
Sochan or something?
Sochan? Oh, yeah.
So Sohan.
Sohan.
So forwards against Dallas since January 1st, averaging over 2 3-pointers made per game and over 1 steal per game. So I like his 3-point line it's minus 105 to have 1 3. He's done it in 7 of his last 10. And when they played on December 31st, he had 2. And then his steal line is 1 steal, minus 130. He's done it in 8 of 10 on the road, and he had 1 steal in that game against Dallas on December 31st.
Yeah.
He plays a lot of minutes.
I think he will play a lot of minutes. I favor the threes just because I think with Kyrie in place, these steals will probably be more in control than the previous matchup, but the threes are going to come,
nice
right?
It's almost even. It's almost even money too. It's a nice one.
That's really good. I like that play. That's a good one. Okay.
All right.
Cool. What else? Anything else? All right. Thunder at the Jazz. Jazz are minus 1. Now we switch into our higher scoring games. Actually, the previous one was too, but 240 points on this one. So should be a shootout.
Yeah. Matchup wise, Utah's like their lineup's so in flux, right, over the past few games, and the one like real mainstay, the guy's been performing so well, Markkanen is not one of the positions that has had success against OKC, so I'm staying away from that side. What I did like on the other side though is point guards against Utah, averaging 27.2 points per game since January 1st.
Wow.
6.2 rebounds per game since January 1st. So I like SGA rebounds tonight, 4.5 rebounds. He's done in 5 of 10 on the road, 4 of 10 overall, minus 135. But I think he, given the success of point guards, rebounding against Utah, I like that here. And then I like his rebound and assist line. So point guards playing more than 26 minutes since January 1st have been averaging 13 rebounds and assists per game against Utah. His line tonight's 10.5. minus 115. I like both those. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how relevant this is, but his last game against Utah was last year, a much different team, but he did have 15
there we go.
Rebounds and assists. So, yeah, I like that. I think he's going to come fired up a little bit after the break.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I like
cool.
his points too, about 31.5. We got burned on it last time just because he would have cleared it if he stayed in the game, but game got out of hand.
Yeah. I don't see this one being a blowout though. So.
No. Yeah.
That other one was against the Rockets, so you just gotta know that every time.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Move on.
I have one other. So big power forwards. There's a nice matchup against Utah, averaging 3 steals per game and 2.6 blocks per game. So that's Kenrich Williams. For him to have a block tonight is plus 300, and he had a block. He doesn't get a ton, but the last 2 games before the All-Star break, he had a block in both games leading up to the All-Star break. So for plus 300, and with guys averaging almost 3 blocks per game over the last month, I love that. And then also for a steal, it's the same. They've been averaging 3 steals per game. For him to have 1 steal tonight, it's minus 145. He's done in his last 7 of 10 on the road. So not a super exciting player, but.
Welcome him to the show.
Yeah,
since
that's right.
We've never talked about him before.
Kenrich Williams.
Right? All right. Next, we got the Warriors at the Lakers.
Fun game.
Obviously, yeah. Although would have been they kind of envisioned this being a little different with Steph in the lineup, but Steph's out, Wiggins is out. Lakers pretty much have everybody. Lakers are minus 6 in this game. Actually, Imagine that. Total, of course, because it's a Lakers game, is 238.5. What do you like here?
So I've been waiting for a spot to play my boy Malik Beasley, and I think I found it. So wing small forwards against Golden State since January 1st are averaging 19.5 points per game. His line's 12.5 tonight, and it's plus 115. The last 3 times he played Golden State at home, 18, 20, and 16. Cleared it in all 3 games.
He's played. Has he played? He's played for the Lakers already, right? Yes. Like he's got a game or 2 under his belt. What is he doing? Like how many minutes is he playing?
Let's see.
I'm pulling this up. Yeah, I mean the last 3 games, 16, 21, and 23. Let's look at the points.
Increasing.
Yeah.
He had 22 in that game against Portland.
You like his points over his threes?
I like his points over his threes because his threes
with 2.5 for plus 100.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a good play when he scores. It's because he's shooting threes. That's basically how he scores. I just the points were the line that was that was popping. So that's where I dug.
Yeah. His last game against Golden State, he went 0 for 6 from 3. So, but yeah, okay, cool.
So I like that. The other matchup was power forwards against Golden State with rebounds. So that's 2 guys. It's Jared Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura. So I like Vanderbilt over 6.5 rebounds, minus 125. He's done this in his last 5 of 6 against Golden State.
How could you not play Rui, man?
Well, that's
3.5 rebounds.
That's my next one here. 3.5 rebounds, minus 125, 12 straight games.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And every game he's been on the Lakers, he's had this. I think he's played 10 games on the Lakers, maybe.
And I think I forgot to mention this. So power forwards. I don't think I said this since January 1st. 6.8 rebounds per game if you're playing more than 26 minutes.
Yeah. Playing time is a little concerning for Rui.
Yes.
Just with Vanderbilt coming in, and I think probably like half of the games he's played on the Lakers, LeBron didn't play. Yeah. So that concerns me.
It's
a little
low
bit.
enough though that I'm okay with it. Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's even last game where he only played, I think it was like 16 minutes. He still had 4 rebounds. So
nice.
And
the birthday boy,
Russell,
the birthday boy.
the birthday
Did you
boy.
have something on
you like
him
him tonight? Yeah, I mean his point line was 16.5, minus 120. He's played 3 games on the Lakers so far, 15, 16, and 21. So he's only crossed 16.5 in the last game. LeBron did play in that game. He so far this season, his last 3 games against the Warriors, where he used to play, right? He was on the Warriors. He had 15, 29, and 15, so also not super compelling. But I dug back multiple years. His last game that he played on his birthday, he had 40 points against Charlotte.
Wow.
This was like 4 years ago, I think it was. But yeah, I mean, I think he's trending in the direction of of being above 16.5. Obviously doing it in his last game, and I think this will be a good game for him.
He does seem juvenile enough that he might get extra excited for his birthday. He seems like one of those guys.
You have such hatred towards this man. I don't know.
The line I like for him though was point guards against Golden State since January 1st, averaging 7.5 assists per game. His line's 5.5 assists, minus 145. He's done it in 7 of 10 overall, and his last 5 of 7 against Golden State.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of weapons around him that can score now, so that might be the smarter play, but I don't know. It is his 27th birthday.
Yeah.
So. All right. Anybody else?
Got one on the for the Lakers. Big centers averaging 11.2 rebounds per game. Since January 1st, Kevon Looney, over 10.5 rebounds, is plus 105. He's done it in 4 of his last 5 games, averaging 11.2. So it's a lot, but I think it's a good matchup.
Yeah. I think of him as like an 8 or 9 rebound guy, but okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Last game, we got the Blazers at the Kings. Kings are minus 6.5. Totals 241.5. Remember, Nurk is still out. Simons is out too. He's going to be out for a bit. So what's
so
I tried to look at Dame's stats without Simons, but he hasn't played a lot of games without Simons.
Yeah, probably not because he missed most of last year, and that's when Simons got most of his run, and he hasn't missed much this year either.
And I also tried to look at Dame his last coming out of the All-Star break last year, but he didn't play those games either. Yeah. So that was my initial thought. But what do you got?
So big centers against Portland, averaging 20.8 points per game, 11.1 rebounds, and just under 1.3 per game. So I like Sabonis here. Points over 20.5 points, plus 100. Just given the matchup, they're averaging 20.8 points per game. That's exactly what he needs to clear this line. I think it's no problem. It's plus 100. He's done it in 5 of his last 10, but I'm more playing the matchup here.
Okay. He also was kind of the other dog of the draft of the All-Star game, so he might have a slight chip on his shoulder. He was on Team Giannis, I think, and when they introduced him, he didn't really get a big ovation. I think he was on Team Giannis.
I think so. Yeah. The other one I liked in this game, so point guards against Portland, averaging just under 8 assists per game. So Fox, his assist line tonight is 6.5, minus 115. He's done it in 5 of 10 overall, 6 of 10 at home, averaging over 7 assists per game over his last 10 at home. I think he gets there tonight. I like that one.
You know, he was the only player who didn't score in the All-Star game.
Really?
He had a wide open dunk and it banked off.
Really?
It hit off the back of the rim. Yeah. So
all right.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah,
so maybe he'll come out and throw some assists tonight. Yeah. Okay, cool. Anybody else in this one?
No. Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, that wraps it up. This will be fun. I guess, what's your favorite game to watch tonight, if you could watch one?
Orlando, Detroit.
Said nobody but Tom.
No, I would say probably the Memphis Philly game.
Okay. you're really excited about seeing Gary Harris and his 11.5.
That's right. Huh? That's right.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Should be fun. Yeah, it's good to be back, and we'll get the best of our best up on Twitter. But make sure you take the time, and even the ones that we don't put up there, we get a lot of good ones there. So play those as well.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Nice work.
All right.
See you later.
Yep.